Welcome back to the Trick Shift Garage. In this video, I'm going to show you guys real quick how to go about and change the transmission fluid and filter on a 2007 Nissan Altima with a 2.5 liter and a CVT transmission. If you have a 2007 and 2008 model, we got drain plugs. So that makes this process a heck of a lot easier because we just got to drain the fluid out the old-fashioned way. If you got a 2009 to 2012 Nissan Altima with the 2.5 liter, you guys don't have drain plugs. So that means you have to drop the pan, loosen up all the bolts and slowly watch it and try to catch all the fluid. So make sure you got plenty of rags, towels, whatever you need. Other than that difference between 2007 and 2012, the process is exactly the same. So the CVT transmission actually has two variations. There's a 19 bolt pattern and there's an 18 bolt pattern. Make sure you double check yours. All you have to do is go underneath the car and just count how many bolts that you have, and then you'll know if you need an 18 bolt pattern or a 19 bolt pattern. And I'll have those links down in the description below. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray everything down, some WD-40, if I have any. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right, so you want to grab your 19mm socket, and we're gonna loosen it up. We're gonna whoop. There we go. Just let it drain. Make sure you slide your drain pan, because this thing likes to drip off to the side and splash and make all kinds of messes. I got a little magnet here. I'm gonna go inside my drain pan and hopefully fish out the drain plug. When you pull the drain plug out, you wanna make sure you still got this copper washer here. You wanna make sure that's still with the bolt. If not, you need to go find it in your drain pan, because that's important in sealing it back up. While this is still dripping out, I'm gonna go ahead and loosen these 10mm bolts. To do is hold the pan like there, lower it down and angle it towards the pan, let it rest. Wow, and actually, dude, this actually looks pretty freaking clean. All right, so there's 3 bolts that attach the mesh filter that's inside the transmission pan. They're right here. It's a 10mm. And make sure your socket is nice and clean. And we're going to go in there and just loosen them up. Oh, that's a long one. So this long one's going to go in this hole. So when we're putting it back, we have to take note of that. Alright, that's a short bolt. Alright, so once we get the bolts out, should be able to come out. Oh, yeah, there's some more fluid. Oh. Make sure you pull out this guy. This is the old O-ring that went with the filter. We have a new O-ring that has come with the new filter. So when you pull the filter out, make sure you got this guy out too. All right, so we got the new filter and we have the new O-ring. Now all you got to do is slide it over like this and put it on. All right, so we're going to take some new fluid and just kind of rub it around here like that. And then once you got new fluid all over it, slide it on over. So now we got our filter. We're gonna go ahead and line up the holes. There's only 3 holes, so you're just gonna line up the holes and we're gonna push it in like so. Okay, and then once we got that, grab one of the bolts. I'm just going to grab the long one and work that in by hand, just to get it tacked in there so it's not going to fall out. And we're going to torque these 3 bolts down to 70 inch-pounds. Okay, so I got my torque wrench. We're just going to tighten them down to 70. It's not much, but that's what they call for. Okay, one more. All right, so here's the pan, and what you got to do is take out these magnets. And you can see here, this is 200,000 miles and what it does to the magnet over time. Anyway, there's 2 magnets. We got to clean them off, get all this metal particles off. So you just take a rag and you just wipe it out, make it go away, wipe it clean. Okay, all right, then go ahead and get our brake clean, and we're gonna wipe it down again. Basically just taking all the metal pieces off and clean them up. Do the same thing here. Got our magnets clean. All right, so the next part is we got to clean up this pan. And once you got that cleaned off pretty good, brake clean. So just wipe it down again. Once we get everything cleaned off, we'll get our magnet and we'll put it right over these like 2 circular humps there, and put the other one on here. At this point, we're ready to put the pan back on. We want to make sure that our new gasket is the correct one and it lines up all the holes. There's a couple smaller holes. There's one here and there's one over here that just have boss pins that go in. These are not for actual bolts, but they're there to ensure that you're putting the pan and the gasket in correctly. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and install the pan. Oh, this is going to be a pain. Whew. Bolt in here. All right, so when you put the transmission pan back on, it's a little tricky with the gasket, but as long as you go slow and you make sure that the gasket is lined up into all the holes, you should be all right to put the pan back on. And once you have the pan tacked up, I got 2 bolts in, one on like each side. Once you get it tacked in, then you can kind of go over everything to make sure that all the gasket material is where it needs to be to prevent leaking. So now we're just going to go ahead and hand tighten all the bolts back into the pan. The next step is to go ahead and tighten all the bolts of the transmission pan to 70 inch-pounds. I didn't see a pattern that I had to use, so I'm just going to kind of go back and forth a bit and kind of rotate around. Drain plug, we're going to go ahead and that gets tightened down to 25 foot-pounds. Okay. All right, so once we get tightened down, we want to spray it off with brake clean and just wipe everything down. And the reason why you want to do this is because to make it easier to identify any leaks that happen to come. So the transmission fluid that I'm using is Castrol Transmax CVT. You can buy this pretty much any auto parts store, even Walmart, Amazon. They sell it as well. It's good fluid, it works, it's fully synthetic, enables smoother shift, longer life, all that good stuff, and special smooth drive technology, whatever that means. Anyway, we're gonna put 6 quarts in, and then we're gonna head and measure the fluid level, make sure it's good, and keep going from there. You should see a little metal tab down there. So what that's gonna do is allow you to take out the dipstick. I'm gonna show you, all you need is a little flathead screwdriver. And you're gonna push it down there, and you're gonna hug this metal bracket. You're gonna slide it and push it right up next to there. And then you're gonna pry back, which will release the tab from it, which will allow you to pull it out. You're basically pushing it so that way it actually goes towards the dipstick. So I'm going in this direction. See that? So when you push it, you'll push it in towards the dipstick, which will push it away from this bracket, which will allow you to then pull it out. Go ahead and put the dipstick back in. Push in until you hear it pop. Alright, so at this point we're finished putting fluid in. We started the car, we're letting it idle. We got to get it back up to operating temperature. I put my cardboard sheet, I flipped it over. This is from earlier, don't worry about that. But I flipped it over and I put it right underneath the transmission. So if there's any leaking or dripping, it will show up on that piece of cardboard to kind of give me a clue that, hey, something's still not buttoned down all the way. Okay, so just a trick for you. Wipe this off, stick it back in. Hold it in there for 3 seconds. Pull it out. I think you can see here, right there, you can see we're in the cross-hatched area. So we're good to go. If you check yours and it's a little bit low, I mean, add probably like a half quart at a time and then just go back and check again and so on until it looks like it's in the right cross-hatched area. All right, last thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna pull my cardboard out and see if there's any fresh puddles. That's old. I don't see nothing, no new drips or anything. So that means we're good to go. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like our work, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff, and we'll have more Trick Shift Garage content for you in the future. See you on the next one.